You think chickens, goats, and cattle are harmless farm animals, but right now they're feeding an alien war machine. This is Helena Cross, Emergency Broadcast Network. Sector Delta is under full evacuation. Cryospore levels are rising faster than predicted, and the livestock are not running away. Instead, they're following Hive drones straight into the mist, swollen, diseased, but completely calm. Authorities confirm these aren't ordinary infections. These animals are being grown into living fuel tanks, producing something the Hive calls substranium slurry. And here's the part you won't believe. They can reproduce without mating, sprouting new infected offspring directly from their own bodies. If you see them, do not approach. They're worth more to the Hive than you are.
Have you heard the news from yesterday? That's right. Livestock in this village have been infected. One of them is the chicken. If you see one wandering around here, leave. Quickly. They call it the brood meat fowl. Its eyes are cloudy and dull. Feathers fall away in uneven patches, revealing swollen breast and thigh muscles, bloated with cyst-like fat deposits. These protrusions aren't natural, they're parasitic growths, stimulating muscle hypertrophy while hoarding biomass for conversion into substranium. Some cysts serve a darker purpose. When mature, they detach from the host, drop to the ground, and grow into new brood meat chicks, no mating required. Its bones are enriched with ossifragments, capable of expanding in density and mass. Despite their grotesque appearance, these creatures move slowly, obediently trailing behind their herder, the flesh drudge. The flesh drudges drive the adult brood meat fowls into digestive maw. Bones are extracted for ossigrowth expansion projects, while the fatty, hypertrophied muscle is liquefied into substranium slurry. In the carrion recycling phase, leftover skin is either fed to larval bioforms or left to rot in the slough node, where its remaining nutrients are recovered. With this, the hive gains both the biomass it craves for sustenance and the raw material it needs to create more substranium. Not all infected livestock here are chickens. In the corrupted village fields, we've found another, larger, more grotesque species of host, the Graveworld ruminant. It stands taller and heavier than any normal goat, its stomach grotesquely swollen. The weight bends its spine into a slight arch, while hypertrophied muscle swells along its flanks and neck. Some areas are layered with folds of flesh and bulbous cysts, substranium-rich fat deposits. These metabolize slowly, breaking down into biomass feed for other bioforms. Its eyes are cloudy and unfocused. The horns twist into asymmetrical, mutated spires, warped by ossigrowth. The jaw hangs slack, drooling a faintly metallic-smelling mix of blood and nutrient gel. Across its body runs the myoflesh lattice, specialized muscle fibers engineered for rapid regeneration after partial harvests. Docile by nature, the creature is often tethered or confined within flesh soil zones. Sometimes, flesh drudges relocate them to harvest points. Infection has caused ossigrowth roots to extend from the hooves, anchoring the Graveworld into terrain or hive architecture. Its vascular system functions as hemocrypt channels, circulating enriched biomass through the hive's internal nutrient networks. Over time, its mobility declines, shifting from an active grazer to a static biomass pump. Eventually, its legs harden completely, locking it in place as a living biostructure node. Harvest crews periodically tap flesh spigots to extract nutrient gel, similar to milk, but rich with processed biomass. The Graveworld continues as a flesh generator until its body fails. At that point, the internal organs collapse into a slurry reservoir, while its outer hide thickens into dead flesh, sometimes seeded with spores to function as a secondary corruption node before final decay. For the hive, it is a valuable resource, maintained and guarded to ensure continuous biomass yield. If the Graveworld ruminant serves as a flesh generator, then this next livestock variant is one of the hive's most valuable resources. Here, the hive has reshaped local cattle into the Osumir bovine. It towers larger than any normal cow, swollen with hypertrophic muscle layers and cystic fat lobes, specialized lipid organs re-engineered to produce high-grade nutrient gel. Its hide stretches taut in some places, while sagging like rotten leather in others. Beneath the skin, branching ossigrowth vessels run like veins of calcified ivory. In many cases, the hide fuses to surrounding structures, tethering the animal in place. Its gaze is hollow, eyes clouded and lifeless. Horns elongate into oxidized biospikes, harvested periodically as ossigrowth material. Its marrow is dense with ossifragment, providing rich feedstock for skeletal mass expansion. The Osumir bovine moves little, perhaps shifting its weight or turning its head in response to pheromone cues. It chews constantly if given biomass feed. Several of its stomach chambers are converted into substranium fermentation tanks, producing a semi-liquid nutrient waste collected by flesh drudges. Inside, its cavities hold gelatinous biomass sacs, each saturated with hemocrypt-rich tissue, linked directly through underground flesh soil conduits to hive processing chambers. When protected, an Osumir can sustain biomass output for months, sometimes years. If damaged beyond recovery, it is chemically driven into shedding mode. Its hide hardens into semi-armored plating, while the internal slurry continues fermenting into concentrated substranium until drained. Even in death, the carcass is repurposed, converted into a husk chamber, or dismantled for ossigrowth expansion. The last livestock species, different from all the others, is the pig. Due to its naturally higher neuron density, the hive has reshaped it into the graze crush. Weighing up to 820 kilograms from extreme biomass hypertrophy and standing 2 meters tall due to spinal elongation and limb extension, this creature is built like a living siege weapon. Its neck and torso are reinforced with dense, plate-armored muscle tissue running along the shoulders, neck, and flanks. A single charge from its head can snap human bones with ease. The graze crush is equipped with mutated tusks, now ossihorns, forward-curving serrated bone growths reaching 18 to 22 inches in length. These are coated in a secretion that accelerates tissue necrosis upon wounding. Its enlarged hooves have hardened keratin edges designed to crush bone. The jaw exerts over 1,000 psi of pressure, used more for gripping than killing. It retains the aggressive territorial instinct of its feral ancestors, now enhanced by hive-triggered rage phases. Roles in the hive: shock harvest enforcer, smashes enemy formations, terrifies Tier 3 to 4 suspects, and creates openings for flesh drudges or next host capture teams. Biomass collector, tramples prey into submission, then devours and processes them into substranium slurry as a pre-bioform resource. Corruption spreader, ossihorn secretions carry cryo-infective agents into wounds, ensuring that even survivors become future hive resources. If killed or fatally injured, The Graveworld's Aussie horns and bone plates are harvested for Aussie growth projects. Its muscle and fat are rendered into substranium slurry, while its remaining hide becomes seeded flesh soil mounds for hive expansion. Among Cryosp's forces, the Graveworld is one of the elite shock troops, fast, brutal, and devastating. Stopping it will require nothing less than overwhelming force. It turns out, several other animal species have also managed to survive, their high neuron density making them potential threats. The Cryospore will transform them into something far more dangerous. We must act now, because if we don't execute the plan soon, things will become much more difficult to contain.